Hello, welcome to today's The Word in a Flash. I'm Freddie Wilson. Today's subject is Step into the Message. If you're familiar with the game of basketball, you'd know that on offense, you have to step into the defense. In other words, you move forward, move the game forward so you can make a score, and sometimes you actually develop what they call a running offense. And on the defensive side, you have to step into the offense because then you want to keep your opponent from going as far as they're trying to get to. So either way, in this game, you have to step into the offense or step into the defense. Many of you have received great messages from God, hopefully like the one that you're listening to now. But how many of you have stepped into the message, gleaned from it, and went and did more research to develop more information about how God can help you in your situation and in your lives? That's what it takes sometimes for us to step into the message, to gain more, not just listen to one message and be done with it. We have to have a yearning for learning about God and what He is to us and what He can mean to us. Most of what you need is already in you. You just need to seek God's help in pulling it out of you. Some of you have heard the song from a group called America called The Tin Man. In the song they sang, "But I never did give nothing to the Tin Man that he didn't already have." Some of you may think that you've done too much bad in your life in order for God to be able to use you. I'm telling you now, you're wrong. Remember, God chooses to forgive your sin, but you have to change your character. You can't keep going about doing the same things you've done before. When you just can't stay the same once you truly experience God. Things change in your life, and you have to go with that change to grow stronger and to become a better person. Jesus was nailed to the cross to keep you from nailing yourself for the mistakes you made. Some of you have received strong messages from God as to the things He wants to do, but we all too often focus on how little we have in order to be able to do the big things God wants us to do. Let me tell you something. God can turn a little into a lot. The story about how Jesus fed the multitude is told in Mark 6:35 through 44. We're going to start at verse 38. Verse 38 reads, "How much bread do we have?" he asked. "Go ahead and find out." They came back and reported, "We have 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish. Then Jesus told the disciples to have the people sit down in groups on the green grass. So they sat down in groups of 50 or 100. Jesus took the 5 loaves and 2 fish, looked up towards heaven, and blessed them. Then breaking the loaves into pieces, He kept giving the bread to the disciples so they can distribute it to the people. He also divided the fish for everyone to share. They all ate as much as they wanted, and afterward, the disciples picked up 12 baskets of leftover bread and fish. A total of 5,000 men and their families were fed from those loaves. The same story was told in John 6, 7, and 9. The moral of the story is that God can do anything. There's nothing too big that God can't do for you or through you. There are 3 things you must do before expecting the miracle. Number 1, you must identify the problem or need. Number 2, you have to accept responsibility for the problem if you caused it. And number 3, you have to do all that you can do and let God do the rest. Because there's some things we experience sometimes we just can't do it ourselves. We need God to do what only God can do for us. I hope you understand, God sees all of your problems. There's nothing that you do or that you have done that God did not see. In order to progress, you have to recognize the problem first. There are three ways to handle problems. One, don't procrastinate. Two, don't pass the buck. You have to take care of your stuff. Don't put it off on somebody else. And number three, don't give up. I know it's hard to go through some of the things you have to deal with, but you just can't give up. Don't quit. Stay faithful. Press on through the problems. God tests you in different ways in your spiritual life. You must try to be strong. Sometimes following God might mean standing alone. That's all right because you can make it. Sometimes God will test us physically. Pray for strength to endure.
Luke 4:1-4 reads, Then Jesus, full of the Holy Spirit, returned from the Jordan River. He was led by the Spirit in the wilderness, where he was tempted by the devil for 40 days. Jesus ate nothing all that time and became very hungry. Then the devil said to him, If you are the Son of God, change this stone into a loaf of bread. But Jesus told him, No, the scriptures say, people do not live by bread alone.
The story really is not about the bread. The story is about how the devil will convince you to try to prove God exists or can bless you through some form of public display. Don't be fooled. Don't ever feel that you have to prove to anybody that God exists or that he can bless you. It's not up for you to prove. You have to live the life and God will take care of everything else. Don't worry about trying to prove it to anyone.
Luke 4:12-13 reads, Jesus responded, The scriptures also say, You must not test the Lord your God. When the devil had finished tempting Jesus, he left him until the next opportunity came.
The path to power is testing. God wants to see where your faithfulness really lie and whether you're going to believe in him when things are against you, when things look tough, when things seem unsurmountable. God can do anything. He can get you through anything, any possibility, any problem, any trial and tribulation. God can bring you through it. Trust in the Lord and do all that he leads you to do. Put it all in God's hands. Like I said before, you do what you can do and leave the rest to God. Remember, God can do things that are humanly impossible.
Jeremiah 32:17 reads, O sovereign Lord, you made the heavens and earth by your strong hand and powerful arm. Nothing is too hard for you.
Have faith to know that if you ask God for something, and if it's in his will, you can have it. Anything is possible for God. Did you know with the right amount of faith, you can control how much God blesses you in your life? But you got to learn how to ask, how to pray, and how to go towards the things that God would have you do.
Matthew 9:27-29 reads, After Jesus left the girl's home, 2 blind men followed along behind him, shouting, Son of David, have mercy on us. They went right into the house where he was staying, and Jesus asked them, Do you believe I can make you see? Yes, Lord, they told him, we do. Then he touched their eyes and said, Because of your faith, it will happen.
All I'm asking you folks is be willing to listen to the messages that God sends you through these kind of videos, through the Bible, through sermons, and all kind of things that you can get. Just have a yearning to seek more from God, to learn more, to get closer to him. And like I said before, instead of just hearing a message, step into the message, glean from it. Try to learn more about the subject that's being discussed and how God can bless you in your life. God is so good, but you have to be willing to have faith in him and to believe that all things are possible. And with that, Be blessed.